All right, here we are with the college edition of the Crystal Ball. And so, first, I'm going to do the Alabama Michigan game. So, this should be a good one. So, I'm going to be taking Michigan in this one. Okay. And so, Michigan is favored to win by 1.5. The algorithm is showing this to me quite a bit more. And the one thing I'm going to point out is trying to predict scores in college is definitely different than what it is in the pros because you see a lot more movement throughout the course of the season. The players grow, the teams change, and then not to mention the trying to take the stats that they've accumulated over the season and apply them sometimes isn't quite the way it is in the NFL. But nonetheless, it's still worth doing. And if nothing else, it's going to give you an idea as to say, well, what exactly do the stats say before you start making qualitative assessments based upon what you've seen. So the algorithm is saying that if the two teams play 100 times, Michigan's going to win 79% of the time. That translates to about a 10-point spread. We come over to the raw scores. So if you look over here to the right at the box plot, is it showing about a 35-21 score? And when you look at these two teams, I don't think that seems entirely out of bounds. I would suspect that Alabama, they've shown that they've been improving throughout the year, and that would increase that score probably north of that 27 mark. What I would also point out is this whole Bayesian adjustment, and what that does, it says, if when Alabama plays better than what they normally do, if we take those results, then it's a much closer game, which really kind of marries up with what we see up here. The question is I don't know if they're really going to be that team that's been playing above average and improving, or if the numbers that they put up in their last 13 games are who they are. That's the fun part about college football. Let's take a look at the performance charts. So the first thing you'll notice here is this is Michigan over here on the right side. Okay. Both teams are balanced approaches, but in both cases, Michigan is putting up about 50 to 75 yards more in each of those categories than Alabama. So, but both teams are going to be able to bring that balanced rushing and passing attack, but that advantage clearly goes towards Michigan in both of those. And remember, this is head-to-head matchup about how each offense goes against the opposing defense. This is not just how they've averaged over the year. And one of the assumptions here is that the teams have played similar competition, so then that those numbers do play out. So if I take this algorithm and if I were to say take Air Force, who's had some really good numbers this year, and put them up against Michigan, it would look as though Air Force would be competitive, when in fact that is not the case. So that is something that we have to keep in mind. But in this case, I do believe that you can make the assumption that Alabama and Michigan have played similar schedules, and the stats that they have similarly represent how they would match up. Let's go over here to the right. A couple of things that I would point out is that both teams are really explosive. You would expect to see that, but you see a little bit more of this expected up here from Michigan than what you do from Alabama. Just a little bit, whereas these are more outliers up here for Alabama that are more normal. And then likewise, Michigan has a strong defense, and they're getting after that quarterback from Alabama. Now Alabama, he can move, and so at this level, you can certainly see how a player can progress to be a completely different player from the end of the season from what the beginning of the season is, which is what makes it so fun to watch. And so we'll see how that pans out. And then we also got just the raw number of plays, pretty comparable, but when a team is getting another 10 or 15 more plays, again, this is showing that Michigan is going to be able to control the ball, move it pretty consistently, keep the ball out of the Alabama quarterback and playmakers' hands, and then consistently be able to put up points. So anyhow, if you like what you listen to, click like and subscribe. If you've got questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.